Ethan, if you were to hand me a jacket, what are the 3 words that you would say?
I would say, here it is.
Well, I would say put this on.
Whoa, wait, that sounds familiar. That sounds like the name of a popular menswear site and web shop.
Not only is it a popular menswear site and a shop, they're also our sponsor today. That's right.
Oh, new sponsor alert.
New sponsor alert. Everyone press the button that you have in your house.
It says new sponsor.
It says new sponsor alert. But guess what? The Put This On shop, they're putting new stuff on the shop, the website. It is the fall 2020 collection. Every week they're posting about like 15 new items. There's a ton of great stuff on the shop. Ethan and I both own stuff from there.
That's right.
Yeah, we both have caps. I just got a cool bracelet from them.
I've got scarves.
Yeah.
So if you want to have some of that action and you're not in LA because you're unable to go picking, you guys can buy something from the shop, from the putthisonshop.com.
That is right. Right now I'm looking at some items that were posted today, at least when the episode is released. We got a corduroy sport coat, which is a fall classic. Maybe it's still a little bit warm to wear it here, but we have yeah, it's like anyone who lives outside of California, get on this, man. It's 38 regular.
Get on and put this on.
And put it on. So
yeah,
I think you should go to the website, buy this sport coat, and put it on.
I'm looking at the checkered white scarf, and you guys know I love my jaunty scarves. And
big fan of jaunty scarves.
Hey man, it's so good. I mean, I hope that it's, well, I don't know how much I hope that it's sold out because I want one of you guys to have it. But then that means your other guys will not be able to buy it. But that's why you got to come back every week to see what is going on and what you can put this on at putthisonshop.com.
Are we just going to keep saying, like, put this on? That's what
right.
We're just going to keep saying?
We're actually
well, I'll tell you one more thing you can put on. You can put on a discount code into your order that gives you free shipping. On most things in the shop, excluding some oversized items.
That's right. So free shipping if it's under $12 to ship it.
Yes. If we want to get specific about it.
That's right. I mean, you know, if your shipping thing costs $11, you put the code in, it's free shipping. And what's that code, Spencer? Let's say it.
That code is Sad Ship.
Sad Ship. Bad name, but that's what it is.
It's like the Titanic right before it sank.
It was Sad Ship.
It was a sad ship. But this is not the Titanic. This is a Put This On shop. You're going to get free shipping. There's some cool stuff. I'm also looking at the bronze starburst ring, which is, it's just a very simple ring. It's, as the description would say, it's bronze. Nothing on the front, which is pretty cool. So you could get like an initial engraved in there. But there's just some like simple, like, you know, starburst etchings onto the side. It's very simple, very clean.
Will you turn into the thing? Like if you eat the starburst, like your head?
Yeah, your head will turn like really big when you get it. And what's really cool is you get free shipping with Sad Ship.
Again, free shipping up to $12. So use the code SADSHIP. Go to putthisonshop.com. See go in there every week and buy some stuff, guys. Buy it. That's the name of this. That's the name of this podcast.
The name of the podcast is Buy This On.
Yeah, so take that, Jesse Thorne. We're coming.
Okay.
You sponsoring us? We're coming for you. Let's get on with the episode, baby. They can't see me do like the little helicopter thing. I should really get like an auto fader after, you know, because I do it every time, right? Like clearly, you know, as MJ is looking at me
like
from
funny?
The beyond. I hope it is. But hey, guys, you don't know. We could be in a booth by now. Your Patreon dollars have given us a booth. Look, I can wave to MJ over there at the.
That's right.
Little mixer thing.
We rented office space.
That's right.
It's
movie.
very. We rented the movie Office Space, and we're all
And then
together watching it.
Yeah, and then we were watching it in the recording studio that we just bought.
It's pretty cool. It's like a warehouse, and we have just like the foam set up, but there's nothing like there's no support. We just are. It's like a pillow fort made of the noise canceling foam.
No, now wait, hold on. Is this Pillowsburg or is this New Blanket Land? Or, I don't remember those aren't it.
That's not it.
Fluffy Town. It's Fluffy Town, and Blanketsburg. I did it. I'm a true community head is what I call
Our guest today is Dan Harmon. He's very impressed with Ethan's knowledge of community.
He's looking at me right now, one tear, and he's like pointing at me like, you got this. Don't get on mic, Dan Harmon, please.
Unfortunately, he has laryngitis.
Wait, hold on. Wait, where are you going? Oh no. Okay, well, it looks like he's leaving the room.
We have different reasons for why he's not going to be on mic. It's cool.
It's our open door policy, but clearly he's using that.
So this is like for the listener. This is like a choose your own adventure. Do you like the reality where we have Dan Harmon in the room, but he's not speaking because of laryngitis, or do you like the reality where we offended him and he left, which is why he's not going to be speaking for the rest of the episode? Those are your two options.
Text the number on the screen. But anyway, guys, welcome to Style Direction, a menswear podcast without the stuffiness.
And without Dan Harmon.
And without Dan Harmon for two reasons. Only Schrodinger could figure it out, right? But my name is Ethan M. Wong.
And I'm Spencer. DSO.
Spencer.
I just finished drinking water. You saw this.
Yeah, and you guys can see it as well, right? Let us know. Text us. If you have our number.
My phone number is on the screen right now. My cell phone number is right there.
And if your screen's broken, call this number. And if you can't hear me, here's the number that you're supposed to call. I'll tell it to you right now. This whole episode is just comedy bang bang, like just spooling out, spooling.
We're just threads in my head.
That's right. We saw I was gonna say Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, we watched Motherless Brooklyn a while back.
We thought we were gonna cover it for the Patreon,
and then we watched it, and it's like, like whatever. It was like okay, it was fine. It was just kind of boring.
Hey, it's no Untouchables, am I right, guys? I mean, to the
that's
40 guys
out,
of you,
right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I did the joke. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's no Untouchables. There's no fucking guy being thrown off of a fucking roof or whatever. And speaking of being thrown off roofs, or actually not speaking about that, our topic today is wide leg pants.
That's right.
Wide leg pants.
This is an article it's a topic of an article that's already come out. Which I think is that a first for us?
That is definitely a first for us. We are not lazy. It is just something that at the time we didn't have time to do a podcast about it. We had some other stuff that we wanted down the pipeline, but it's something that we've always wanted to discuss because it is something that Spencer and I kind of wear. It's something very common amongst us and our friends, part of our personal style. But, maybe people at the podcast need to have that.
Yeah,
what are you looking out the window for?
Oh, I just like looking out the window.
You're like Jack Donaghy?
I'm like Jack Donaghy in that I like to look out windows.
Or you're like JFK.
Yeah, that's not. He wasn't looking out. Okay.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about he died because he was looking out the car window. But I was like, he was in a convertible, bro. Everyone knows about the Kennedy assassination.
Well, convertibles are just like cars with the window. Well, all cars have windows.
Shout out to the Warren Commission. Okay.
That's right. But yeah, no. So yeah, this is something. Yeah, we've worn it for a while. Except actually, hey, a shout out the old Ethan episode 50. I didn't always wear wide leg pants. I started out wearing okay. As you guys know, I did vintage stuff. That's a little bit different. But everyday wear, I was like, it's got to be skin. It's got to be slim because that's what was cool.
And as we said, you were very big on separating your vintage looks from your everyday modern looks.
Exactly. Yeah. And it took a while to kind of put those two things together as if they were Legos, I guess. But it's something that as you move on, and again, as you read that article that I wrote, it's linked in the show notes. One that I poured my heart and soul into this. Into this essay. But it's kind of like a post basic style move kind of thing. It's like after you go through the basic, after you get to biz cash and Americana and the what's it called, the basic bastard, as MFA calls it. You kind of want to you either stay there, which is fine. But if you're listening to the podcast, you probably are like, oh, I want to do something a little bit more. I want to change it up. And sometimes that leads to wide leg pants. It certainly did for me, as I realized that my modern style was boring as hell and not interesting, and my vintage stuff was way better, so I kind of incorporated it there. Did you before we get on to more wide leg pants? Did you ever have did you? You tapered your pants before too, right?
I did. Yeah. When I first got into menswear, it was also specifically like vintage stuff, but it was early '60s vintage. I didn't really have many vintage pants because my attitude at the time was, pants are like pants,
Right.
I would rather spend my money on a shirt or a jacket or something like that.
Shoes would be even lower on the list on that one too.
Exactly. It's like it was based on where it was my body. So shoes were the lowest on my body, so therefore lowest priority.
Start from the middle.
That's why I bought so many hats. I bought so many of them.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I got a lot of pants like tapered a couple years ago in I guess 2017, 2018. And I've had a lot of those let back out because I was like, oh, why did I do that? I had a pair of HBT, 5 pocket, I don't know what pattern they are. Some, from What Price Glory or something.
Yeah.
And I got
shout out the Milsurp.
Yeah, I got that. I got that tapered to I think what I was doing at the time was 7.5, 8.5 inch leg opening.
That's crazy.
I know, right? And then I was like, why did I make this slim? I don't understand it looking back because now I'm not a huge fan. Maybe we'll get into this in the episode. I'm not a huge fan of high rise slim leg. I think that just looks bad.
Yeah. No offense to Drakes and the game suits. And even then, those aren't that slim compared to some other stuff out there. But yeah, no, I was right with you. I think I said in the, I'm not sure if I said it in the episode 50 or whatever, but when I was first hanging out with Raj, right, he got his pants tapered because obviously for him, he's a slim guy, and to a certain extent, fashion, menswear, tailoring should be about emphasizing what you've got physically. Sometimes it can be about subverting it, but it's still a very important aspect of it. And of course, he's a very small SMOL guy, and he would have to taper his pants, otherwise he'd look really wide on his small frame, which I don't mind, I didn't find surprising. But it was the first time I had ever seen someone taper their pants, and I was like, hey dude, what do you get on your pants? He goes, oh, I go 6.5. I'm like, oh, okay, so clearly that's what I gotta do. So a lot of my pants, and then the thing was, hey, shout out Algis, who is currently maybe gonna let out or take up some of his pants. He's going through a thing where he's got to take everything to the tailor instead of one at a time. Just to be efficient, so you get them all back. So I did that where I dropped off all my pants. I was like, hey, 6.5, you got to do it. And then later on, it was like, oh, I got to let them back out like an inch or something.
How much?
Even further.
How much was it both times to take?
Honestly, dude, I have spent. People keep asking me how much clothes I have, dude. How much have I spent at the fucking alterationist, man?
Yeah, it's what do you think? What do you think is more? How much, or where have you spent more money at the buying clothes or the tailor shop?
I think that it might be almost equal now. Just if we count lifetime wise.
Yeah. Because we think about a couple of years back on the blog. You were spending more on alterations than you were spending on the suits.
Yeah, but it was a $20 suit, so
That's fair.
It was one of those things. But then I think now, after buying Ring Jacket, Alden, or whatever, they've kind of equalized out. But anyway, the point of this, the equalizer. Shout out Denzel, Denzel Crocker from Fairly Odd Parents. I used to think that Denzel Crocker and Mr. Burns had the same accent or same voice actor because come here, Simpson. You know, that's a very.
I mean, I could hear it, I guess.
And then like you know,
who does Crocker?
It's a Hispanic voice actor. It's like Damon Alec, whatever.
Has he done anything else like I would know?
Probably. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not as much of a VH head. Oh, VAH. Yeah, the VA. But yeah, I don't. Carlos. It's Carlos something. I don't know. Anyway, what was I saying?
What were we talking about before?
Well, what I was saying was going through all of this, and again, I've also linked the Ethan's Trouser journey article there, because that was kind of like the precursor to like the old Ethan article, because it kind of takes one part of my journey and shows you how I kind of went through it all.
Yeah. And I was going to ask, so this is from 2018, so how's your, I mean, we'll probably get into this, but has your stance changed since 2018?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think now, I guess you gotta add another article to the list now, but like the fun pants one, that's the, that was the thing where like it's intentionally wide and I didn't even hem them. I just kind of rolled them up. That kind of is a good, because, I think in 2018 I still was super tailored, and if I wasn't tailored, wear like a t-shirt and jeans. I didn't even have like military chinos. I didn't really wear sneakers. I didn't really wear jungle jackets, at least until the end of that year. But anyway, so in going through the tapering and everything, it kind of showed me how important all of these dimensions are when going into menswear. And I know this is about wide legs as opposed to just tailoring in general. But basically, to me, it was like, okay, if I really wanted to look like the guys at the Armory or even the Lawrence Fellows illustrations, I gotta change the pants, right? And clearly, if it's really slim, you get to see too much of the thigh, too much of the calf. It just doesn't look right. It doesn't flow correctly. And also, there's a thing here that I also learned is that when they're tapered, your pants will break higher on your leg, or higher, or like it'll, like the longer you go with a taper, it'll break more, but just because it's like a stack on a jean.
Yeah.
And so to get that, if you really want a slim pant with with a clean hem, you want it to be pretty high up. And so the opposite happened when I would start to get wider pants, but I would still get them hemmed at the same length. It would be too short, and they would hover too much, right? There'd be too much of a gap. So basically, the kind of the equalizer, I guess, would be to have a wide trouser that was long enough to kind of touch the top of the shoe, again with a very minimal or a shivering break, as some people call it. But like that was like it was crazy for me. And the thing is that I did it with vintage first. It was common. It was like that's what I got from it, because when I went to the tailor, I wouldn't say taper these pants. I would just say hem these pants with a cuff, and then he would do it. But then when it came with like modern pants, I'd be like, okay, I want you to taper them here, and then I gotta get them hemmed up here, and I gotta add the cuff, So eventually it was like, okay, I don't have to taper anymore, and it just kind of, it was.
You were just like, hey,
eye-opening.
It's like, why am I doing this extra step for these modern pants? If I like them wide, just keep them wide.
Exactly. And again, looking back through it, you look at like old vintage illustrations that I've included in the show note, or in the essay. It's, they look so fucking clean. It just looks so good, right? Whether it's an illustration, whether it's like a real person, you just don't really see that as much today. I think everyone still talks about the 2007 versus the 2013 draft picture or whatever. And like, a lot of it goes down to like the hemline too, but I mean it's also like the taper. I think if the 2007 or the early one was just hemmed correctly, I think it would look a lot cooler. And that's what people would be like, oh, it's like Armani 80s or whatever, or it's fucking like a runway, like a modern runway, because wide leg is kind of coming back. But the thing is, I think that menswear has kind of lost this, at least classic menswear has lost this idea of kind of like a wider leg. And I'm sure all you guys think, okay, Ethan, what's the difference between like a slim leg, straight leg, whatever? It's kind of up to interpretation. Again, obviously, remember 6.5 on Raj is probably like slim straight. On me, it's like fucking wearing jeggings because I have thick legs, So obviously, you got to find out what that means to you. Again, experiment if you can. Try on ready-to-wear stuff. Try on vintage. Measure what looks good for you. But for me, to me, a wide leg is like anything over 8.5. 8.5 to me, I think, is like slim straight, or like just straight leg, because that's kind of at the end of my of the Ethan Trouser article. I think in 2018, I was like, okay, like 8.5 or 8 3/4 is like where I started to like settle. But of course, like you asked, now it's probably like I get them like at least over 9, like 9 and above. Now I try my best. You know, 8 and 8 3/4 is like the starting line now, like straight up. So, you know, what about you, Spencer? I know because I remember you like when you first got like some military chinos, you're like, oh man, these might be too wide. You like tapered them a little bit.
Yeah, because I was because at the time I was trying to figure out how to incorporate more. I was just coming out of wearing full like period accurate vintage stuff.
And like suits too, yeah.
And suits, and I was trying to figure out how do I incorporate these more like modern influences into my style. And I reacted by getting them a little bit slimmer because I was like, okay, well, like, you know, I don't want to go full vintage. It was like, I guess maybe shades of your mindset in separating.
Yeah, not everyone's as weird as I am.
But it was kind of like that where it's like, okay, I'm going for like a clean kind of like maybe Ivy inspired look, so that's slimmer leg, and so I would get these slimmer. But yeah, I mean, it's like I still wore them, but I realized a couple years later, it's like, no, all these would look better, just like, you know, it like if I hadn't not take off that 1.5 2 inches of width. And now I mean, I definitely prefer everything to be wider now. I still have like a couple pairs of pants that I wear from J. Crew, like my like white Beecher pants, which I got for free because, you know, I don't have any other like white casual pants like that, and I still think the design is cool. It has a high rise, but every time I wear it, it's like I'm like, okay, well, eventually I'm gonna have to find like a wider pair of some like this, because it's like, you know, it's just the look doesn't feel complete.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I also have a lot of, you know, as much as I like wearing white pants, I think a lot of people on Reddit or even Instagram, people will assume I wear white pants all the time, which might be true if you look at like my casual style, because I definitely have incorporated that, and we'll get into the different things later. Yeah. But you know, I still have like slim chinos. I still like the 60s look, and I think it's important for everyone to realize as well, like, you know, there is no real like correct, I think, you know, I mean, slim pants, again, you know, unless they're gonna start breaking like crazy or whatever, most of the time they look fine. Slim straight is fine, you know. I think
I mean, it's like right now I'm wearing like LVC 47s, which I think are like quote unquote slim straight. I don't think they're that slim, but they're slimmer than some of my other pants. And these are like my favorite jeans that I've gotten in a while.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I think that's important. I mean, you know, it's there's always going to be variety out there, and it always contributes to different looks. Again, you know, like different makers, right? Like the guys at J Muser, I think, prefer a slim leg, right? You see Jake, you see Chase, you see Matt, and then of course Matt is skinny, right? So it looks a little bit different on him, but they look great, just like at Drake's. You know, Drake's even has a multitude of like different looks too. Like the Games pants, I think, are a little bit different than their regular suiting. Of course, you have you know, one of my favorite guys, Arnold Wong, who prefers a bespoke wide leg, like 10-inch, like basically 40s redos, you know. And then of course you got fucking husbands, right? This is just a variety of different stuff out there, you know.
And so are we talking about anyone that has a wife?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Husbands all have slim legs, and that's why I wear wide legs. But, you know, I think it's important to also talk about, like, you know, again, what constitutes a wide leg. Again, the width is also important, but you know, there's a lot of different ways you can approach it.
I'm sure that most of our listeners already know this. Do we want to quickly get on record, like, our explanation of, like, you know, baggy versus wide leg?
Yeah.
So people can like pull from us when they're like, oh, why are your pants so baggy? And you say, actually, a podcast told me.
You know, Oscar is known here as actually.
Listen to that Office recap podcast, I guess.
There you go. Yeah. But yeah, no, okay. So baggy. One of my first ever articles, like fucking ever, was vintage pants are straight, not baggy, and it basically is baggy means that they are pooling around, like there's creasing because they're breaking so much. There's a lot of excess fabric, and like because it looks like a fucking paper bag. Like that's it's all like, you know, creasing and everything. And when you don't have that, you know, it looks clean. I think I don't know what it is about regular people, the normies regular out people. There. regular. But like, I don't get how they can look at something and be like, that's so baggy, and it's a fucking straight line. I don't get it.
It did always weird me out. It's like, I'm not saying that everyone has to do like no break, but it's like when I worked at Menswear House or J. Crew or whatever, and like people would come out of the dressing rooms with their suits, and I would be like pinning their suit to where they want it, and I'd look at it, it's like, bro, you don't think this is like too long? It's like, I don't understand. It's like, because if you're wearing, you know, if you come into J. Crew or Men's Warehouse and say I want like a modern, clean, skinny look, I don't understand why you would also pair that with like too long pants, like pants that are just breaking way too much. Maybe this is a little bit off topic, but it's like, I just don't get it. I think it just like, it's the worst way a pair of pants could look.
Well, you know, this is no offense to any of our friends who may be struggling with the correct length, but I think it just comes down to the fact that people don't like to see their sock, or people just don't like to see it. But like, the way you combat that is you just get a wider pant. Like, I mean, to bring it back to the topic, right? Like you look at all these fucking pictures, they're not breaking, but they're also like, you don't see like your ankle, like it's covering the whole thing, which is why I like it. You know, I think that's incredibly, you know, important to the whole thing, right? If you want a clean look, you should have the right length, but also the right width. And personally, I like it better when you have pleats, because I like having a general like wide leg. Again, I have big thighs, so technically you could have like a, you know, maybe more straight leg would be like slim on the thigh, but then no taper from the knee down. Maybe that could be a thing, and that could also mean wide to some people. You know, I'm sure everyone.
That's what we like on our jeans. Just slim in the seat and thigh.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what our stance is on that. Again, and I just think the wide leg pants are just fucking comfortable, just overall.
Oh yeah.
You know, and in general, right? The whole thing here is about being like slouchy and subversive, because at a certain point, right, like, whether you are doing casual wear or doing tailoring, you know, at a certain point, you are going to be, like I said earlier, you're going to be kind of at the apex of it, because you can't really do more. Like, you know, you have a slim jean, you have a fucking gray sweater. Cool, man. Like, that's great. How do you go forward from there? If you want to. Again, you don't have to, but like, say you're missing something, changing the fit is good. And I don't think that oversized tops with skinny bottoms is that interesting to me. I think that's a little bit, not everyone can pull that off, but having a wide leg is something I think that everyone can kind of pull off. There's also a good article someone put out there about like weightlifting style, or like bodybuilders, and the way like these guys like can look good with all their fucking muscles packed in their thighs and calves is to have a wide leg. It kind of covers it all up and creates a straight line, you know. And so let's get into the kind of the formal connotations, because I think that's what people have like a crazy issue with, right? Like, they can't imagine, like, it's hard for them to fathom that whole thing. And again, first of all, look at the fucking pictures. You know, we talk about, oh, men should be classic, and then people just don't want to look like that. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, why don't men dress like this anymore? Proceeds to have a skinny suit.
They do not dress like
you know,
that.
Or don't fucking hem their pants. You know, it could be that thing where, you know, where people just don't have translatable like artistic eye, you know, where like, oh, I like art, proceeds to do a fucking Instagram filter on like a Valencia filter on your Instagram photo. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But maybe people need us to tell them. They need that style and direction. Shout out.
Shout out to the name of our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you gonna say anything?
No, I was not gonna say anything.
Yeah. Well, again, I mean, I don't think it's as intense. Like, I don't think it's as period as people think it is. I say that with knowing that everyone's rolling their eyes right now.
Because because a lot of the wide pants that you wear are like 70 years old.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, where'd you get them? Oh, they are from the 40s. It's like, okay, then shut the fuck up, you know. But
you're saying, you're saying the look can be translated into the modern era. It doesn't have to be worn.
Yes,
like
you don't. And you know, again, this comes to a conversation that you and I kind of had, and of course, me talking to our pal Kiyoshi, friend of the stream. It's that slouchy to me. I mean, it's all about the drape and the hang, right? It's not about really pooling. I think we kind of got to different stuff there. You know, like, I don't really think that a lot of the stuff from what's it called? Like Armani with all the pool, like the really long pants. I don't think that works. But like when it just hangs off the shoulder and hangs from the waist, again, because wide leg pants also look better when you have a high waist. I don't know how a wide leg low rise pant would look. But it just has like it's just very clean, and it adds to the kind of idea that at least for me, I try and present tailoring as like a very slouchy thing. I still think that you can wear a tie. Because I think that wearing ties can be casual, as we talked about on the pod and on the stream. But like when you combine the wide leg pant with a soft shouldered jacket, it just looks right to me. I don't think that it looks good with like a pagoda shoulder or like the 30s. The 30s had like kind of pagoda S shoulders with a kind of semi flared trouser for like those novelty. What do you call it?
Like collegiate.
Collegiate
yeah.
stuff, swimsuits and everything like that. I don't think you have to do that. And so, again, I like the subversion because it's an intentional choice to go against the norm with tailoring, right? Because
it would be so easy to get a pair of slim pants because that's where it's just everywhere.
That's what it is. Yeah. Exactly. It's cool to see, Arnold Wong. I think there's pictures of Peter, Urban Composition there, who do it. I mean, I do it as well, but like, I try and include a lot of pictures, not just of me, because I knew people wouldn't believe me if it was just me out there, But it's, it just looks better. It doesn't look corporate, and also the way they do it, it looks kind of vintage, but I don't think that they, it helps that they're not wearing fedoras. It helps that they're not, maybe they have, Peter has like cool hair, nice beard, very trimmed and everything.
And I mean, as we've kind of touched on before, but it's just significantly more comfortable, and I think that's part of the reason that adds to that more casual, slouchy look.
100% is what I would say. It just when guys complain about suit pants, obviously number one thing that they're probably not thinking about is the material. But number two, it's the fit, right? I don't think anyone, that's not true. I find it hard to believe that people feel that wearing a slim pant is comfortable, or an overly slim pant. I think slim straight's fine,
like
straight
skinny
leg's fine.
Skinny fit.
Yeah. And again, I realize that many of you guys already probably have this in mind. So this might be for you more to do, try, adding an inch or so wider. I think that our friend Andy has also gone wide, like with he bought some of my old pants that I had tapered, they're like 8.5 inches, whatever. And then he started to get some bespoke from Pham Taylor in Vietnam. And it gets like, 9-inch hems, dude. And it looks really cool combined with the soft shoulder. It doesn't look that period when he wears it, It just makes it look so much better, and I don't have to worry about things like it's what about the fucking airflow, dude? Like there's a reason why people enjoy that kind of thing, because
speaking of that, here's the other thing that always weirded me out at my retail jobs, were people wanting like super slim like summer weight stuff, like Madras or linen or seersucker.
That's crazy, bro.
They would like want that, and it's the same thing. It just like it doesn't make sense. Just think about it for a second. Just think about it.
Oh man, I think you assholes. I tried to come up with a quote from a movie, but I couldn't think of it.
Hero.
Yeah, my wife.
Borat too.
But yeah. What?
They're doing. You saw this. We've talked about this. They're doing Borat.
Yes, Borat.
2.
Yeah, Borat too. Yeah, they are.
I'm just saying it. Word association. It's a popular game on this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. So wide leg pants looks really great with fucking summer clothing. I think it looks great with flannel. I mean, again, you get it with a cool drape. I think that cotton or corduroy might not be as great for wide leg.
Really?
More specifically corduroy, because it doesn't. You'd have to get it like hemmed higher, I think, because it breaks so easily.
That's fair. I think that what I was gonna say is like the real thing that draws me to wide leg pants, and I'm sure it's the same for you, is just drape in general. Like there's like I remember a couple of years ago on MFA there was something. This was when I was like getting my pants tapered. No, this was before then. I think this was in like high school when I was like first buying vintage pants. And I was like, oh, can I wear pants these wide just like casually? And the answer was like probably no, because I was like fucking wearing like lame ass like gabardine like suit pants with with like weird shirts. but it wasn't the width that was the issue here. But anyway, so I saw this thing on MFA that was like taking the old Gap swing dancing ad, like for their khakis, and comparing it to a more contemporary ad for khakis that I think was like kind of a send up of that. And they were just like, look at that difference. And I was like, that kind of convinced me for a little bit. But no, it's the issue that I came to realize is that the skinny pants just do not have the drape that wide pants do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's again, it's always about looking at what you like and how to approximate it. And I realized everything I liked was just a wider pant, especially with tailoring. It's just, I didn't want to look like a typical guy, I think, and not everyone has to stand out. I understand that, but it kind of helps with breaking out of the mold, and if you like the idea of wearing ties, because I think that the idea of me wearing a sport coat and tie is independent of like looking corporate, looking formal, whatever, because you guys should know that by now. And again, one way to intentionally go after that is by going wide. Going
wide.
Yeah. But so that kind of leads into the second part, doing it casually.
Oh, part two.
Part two. But I think with this one, though, is way easier to get into for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, this is like a big casual look. If this is like, if you're not super into, if you're not just like, super into the basic bastard look or whatever, you're probably wearing wide pants, because it's just like in a lot of fashion subcultures. It's in a lot of like streetwear, like, like fucking like skater, or like, just like thrift store chic.
It's popular now. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of stalwart guys out there are like, "Ugh, the youth," but it's like, again,
they're all about making this.
They're all, and everyone does.
Yeah, this is a podcast without any stalwartness.
Yeah, that was actually the our first go at the motto right there. But I'm always about making these common threads and everything. And if it's not obvious, I get inspired by a lot of different things, and I just kind of exude those vibes in classic menswear. And seeing all these TikTok people, these influencers, whatever, doing the wide leg, like whether it's chinos, whether it's like, some of them wear slacks, dickies, work pants. It's like those exist. Like I like, for me, I'm like, it's like, whoa, like that's cool. I don't have to do that. I could just do that in classic menswear or with workwear, Americana, because those things already exist. They were meant to, or at least the things that we buy were always meant to be like that. Like the jeans that we wear, the military chinos, the work pants, all that kind of shit. They were just made wide, and that's kind of a big deal to why it looks so good and easy to do it casually. One thing right now that's pretty big that Kiyoshi is a big proponent of, that I've seen quite a bit, with 18 East and everything, it's the easy pant. Mm-hmm. And these pants, high-waisted more often than not. Sometimes they have pleats, drawstring, but they're wide, because it's kind of like it's like this kind of evolution of like the harem pant, like the what do you call it, like the b-boy, the breakdancing pants, all that kind of stuff. It's like a good evolution of that. And
I'm sure, I mean, there's gotta be like articles in like GQ or fucking, Esquire in the year 2020 that it's like, oh, these are the pants of the pandemic, the easy pant. Like this is, I feel like this is the pandemic might give, like wide fit pant, like casual pants, its final big push into mainstream.
That's right. And it's always so funny and equally frustrating when I get to go on MFA and people are like, "Oh, I can't imagine this is what the world's coming to." I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here, dude."
I mean, it's like we've talked about this like on the stream, I'm sure. I remember there's that big post that I think was one of our first streams where the guy was like, I've been on MFA since like 2014. I love the basic bastard look, but now I see everyone's going crazy or whatever. It's like, what happened to the MFA for guys who just like slim fit chinos and OCPDs?
They're dead.
They're dead.
We don't have to worry about TOS here. But yeah, no, I think these, seeing guys wear that, and seeing it more in MFA, seeing the, the love that Antonio is getting for 18 East, it's like, good. I feel like, we're getting there. I'm sure that the throwing fits guys also have a bit of appreciation. I think I was just listening to an episode today where they were like, yeah, Uniqlo U, and that's a great way to kind of get into it. I mean,
yeah, that's how we both did it. And what they were like what, $30 or less when we got them.
To be perfectly honest, I don't know about the labor conditions and the material of Uniqlo, but if you're wanting to try it out, like, I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna keep these pants forever. They were great. They were wide-legged. They're kind of cropped, which again, I think for casual is good, or unless you're gonna roll it up or something. I'm not gonna wear these with a suit, obviously, because they are very like a cotton blendish, easy material, but they're great, and they look really nice. They're not made of sweatpants. They're made of like cotton, or cotton blend, but they still look like an elevated pair of pants that you could. I still wear mine with loafers. But it's like this idea of like elevated pajamas, elevated loungewear, where athleisure is all about very form-fitting. Guys wearing the track suits, girls wearing sports bras, sports pants, like bike pants, whatever. But this is like the opposite of it, where it's very loose.
The guys are wearing
casual.
sports bras.
Not this one. Berkey. But yeah, it's great. Again, you still get the airflow with it and everything. And the crazy part is, or maybe it's not that crazy, but it's like everyone else has kind of gotten into this, like European style, I think one of our friends, Jeremy, calls it like coscore, where you have that, everywhere else. If it's out there. Japanese style is very dependent on like wide leg pants. I mean, that's just it is what it is. It's very inherent to like that kind of style. Again, you play it with like minimalism, you play it with earth tones and everything. It just looks really cool. And it's just kind of just more conducive. I can't imagine, again, it's just really hard for me to think of like cool Japanese-esque minimal flowy fits without wide leg pants, man. Like, I guess like,
I mean, I was gonna, and what I was gonna say is, at least the kind of casual style that I have, I just literally don't think it works with slim pants.
Yeah, let's talk about the Menswear stuff. Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, it's not because it's like, oh, it's not period accurate or whatever. It just doesn't look right, because I don't know. I mean, maybe this is me being weird and like everything having to be period accurate. But I generally don't like getting a like mall brand fucking like reinterpretation of like a pair of like World War II combat trousers. I wouldn't want like a Wallace and Barnes interpretation of it. I would want just the original. Yeah, I want the real thing, the thing that it's based on. Right. And typically those things were like wide. Like you have some pictures of like like the Bryceland's guys, or like some other guys doing like more rugged kind of like like very like quote unquote heritage workwear, rugged Americana looks. Yeah. And like imagining that with like a slim fit jean rather than like a wide leg, it's gonna throw off everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's just about the kind of the slouch that comes with it. You look at the old pictures; these guys were.
Yeah, it's just a coherent look.
Yeah, it's just really. I wish other people. I mean, I hope people kind of understand the thing that we're going for, and kind of as this kind of recaps the blog post and everything. But it just has something that looks really good toward. I think that slim has its own aesthetic. Like SLP.
Yeah, because I don't think we're not saying that slim fit can't look good.
Yeah, husbands. Yeah.
Shout out to married dudes.
Yeah, that's right. But but it's like in particular, like this era of this way of approaching classic menswear, just seems kind of right. I think it again, it's also subversive. So if that plays into your style, I don't think you can be as edgy, being classic, without doing wide leg pants. If you're if you're gonna be edgy with slim pants, I think there's a lot of other like goth stuff you can get into, really edgy. There's a whole avenue for it. But like when you're wearing you're wearing classic gray raglan sleeve sweater and some jeans. You put the guy wearing the slim fit stuff on the left with fucking Common Projects, and you put the one on the right with fucking like wide leg ones with the fucking deck shoes or something. That's gonna win it for me. I mean, I hope I'm not biased, but I just think that it's just more interesting, And that plays into this whole idea of wide leg pants, whether it is, formal or casual. It just has this like, it's unexpected, right?
Yeah.
And it just has this
we
kind
both.
of,
Well, well, finish your thought, but I was going to say there is a pair of pants that we both have that is pretty similar. That we could talk about.
which
Well, I was gonna say our like blue like work pants.
oh, the HPT ones.
No, not the HB. Wait, are yours HBT? The one that.
If you're talking about the kind of slub cotton one, I give that to MJ, so I don't consider it a part of my canon anymore.
Okay.
But
Well, I was gonna say because I got the jeans from Wet Price Glory at the beginning of lockdown, and you have those blue work pants that you got at Rose Bowl or whatever, but apparently you don't have them anymore.
Yeah, I don't got those ones. They're kind of like a pale bluish, kind of like a periwinkle, I guess. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't have that one anymore. But I do have the HPT work pants, which I also got the Rose Bowl. See, it's really hard because I get a lot of my shit at the Rose Bowl. But I mean, like we both have like World War II chinos or variations thereof. We both have M43 pants. I have all of HPT, and you have the camo version of them. We also both have the Uniqlo U pants, the drawstring ones.
That's right, and we have the drawstring ones and the seersucker ones.
No, I don't have the seersucker ones.
Oh, you got rid of those?
Yeah, shout out to MJ. Again, if you guys are like my size, feel free to hit me up. Or I guess that's what the Discord's for. Because you get to pay us for the chance to shop our wardrobe. Is what it is. It's
a sales pitch.
That's right.
It's good.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Shout out Ray Charles. But it's so how do you wear yours? I think I kind of described like with classic menswear for me, it's the same thing I always do: soft shoulders, Neapolitan-esque style, slouchy. It just happens to have wide leg pants. So how do you wear yours?
I mean, it's like I don't really put too much thought into, is this going to work with my wardrobe because it's so wide, and maybe that's a testament to having a very like cohesive wardrobe. But it's not something that I've thought about in a while in terms of like like silhouette or whatever. Like how it's going to work with the jackets that I have in my wardrobe. But I mean, I personally, I think it's very easy. Like I still wear, I think that there's a big difference between my denim work pants, which were the very wide like pair that I'm talking about right now, and like a pair of regular ass jeans, just because they fit. Like, I mean, they fit like a tube. It's like it definitely just hangs and has a lot less structure than a regular jean does, and that is something that I do take into account. But that's basically the only thing.
Right.
But yeah.
Do you what about like footwear? Like, do you think that like
with foot? I mean, yeah, that does.
Do you think like certain shoes work with certain things, right?
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons why I haven't gotten Wallabies yet, is because that's where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm
kind of hard.
I have the pants for that. But I mean, again, like most of the shoes that I have, like loafers, deck shoes, my Chuck 70s, whatever. Those all just, I think, just kind of look good with wide pants, just by default.
Right. I mean, you look at all, you look at our pal Doug, you look at Steven Schaefer, you look at Bryceland, you look at Arnold Wong, Cody Wellama.
Yeah. I mean, it's like all my pants. It's like, again, most of the pants I wear are like wide enough where the issue I have is not. It's not, again, like, oh, these are too wide, how am I going to wear this? It's like when I put on my fucking Wallace and Barnes like deck pants or whatever, then I'm like, oh, these are a little slim, how do I wear these? Because then I feel like then it doesn't mesh with the
rest of your stuff. Yeah, no, exactly. I think it's, I mean, again, we're probably biased by now, but like I just can't fathom wearing slim pants. You know, I have some. I do have some, but you know they are more conducive to certain outfits than other stuff. And I honestly will probably not wear slim pants as much, and I don't. So, but for me, well, I don't know what I had a little.
For me.
Oh man. Oh, who is that? I don't know.
Is that Monsters Inc? Is that the like teenage guy?
Oh yeah, like Mr. Sullivan.
Or but is that also just the greasy faced teen from The Simpsons?
Yeah. Put your arms, foot, and legs inside the vehicle.
So it's all that. It's just a voice. It's just an archetype.
Right. I don't know if that was good radio for people listening. You know, I don't know if that sounded real nice on the crisp.
This is your radio. That's your radio voice.
That's right. That is. But yeah, I like to wear mine. I have articles too, like the fun pants, where even if it's like a casual wide leg pant, I'll still wear it with tailoring. You know, I'll like throw on a sport coat with it, kind of subvert it. Wide leg chinos. I think it looks really cool. And again, whatever it is, it always goes back to like the idea of like slouch. And again, like I said, slouch for me is all about like how it hangs from the shoulders or from the waist. And so wide leg pants, you know, with an unstructured, short coats are unstructured because there's no canvas in there, but like stuff like that, you know, they really help. Even with hoodies, even with fucking denim jackets, leather jackets, it just kind of works. You know, and footwear.
It just works.
Wide leg pants, it just works. But you know, we look at the footwear that I have. I mean, at first I was like, okay, I can't wear boots with it because to me, you know, boots with SLP is really cool. But I've worn my Chelsea boots with fucking wide leg pants. There's a really great picture I have of me wearing camo short coat with a Star Wars t-shirt tucked into World War II chinos and black Chelsea boots. I thought that looked badass. It looked fucking cool as hell. You know, there's something about the wide leg offset by like a sharp boot. Really cool. And then the opposite of that, kind of a low profile, low vamp loafer looks really cool. You know, whether it's with white socks or sockless, it kind of just has this easy, again, elevated pajama feel. You know, and then if you're doing my whole theory of alternates with casual wear, instead of wearing like, you know, because your fucking pajamas aren't going to be slim. I don't know who wears fucking slim pajamas. But like, you know, you have like a wide pajama with slippers. It kind of reminds you of like fucking wide leg chinos and a pair of tassels, dude. Like,
yeah, take that, idiot. You walking around in pajamas, wear some tassel loafers.
I mean, it's kind of a cool look, actually. Like, I went in quarantine. I wore my pajamas with tassel loafers outside for the fit pick, but not in my house. And then of course, you know,
tassels today as slippers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's like fucking, you know, like let's not forget the, you know, deck shoes, right, and canvas sneakers, and
let's not forget. We just did an episode about that. Don't forget about it already.
Never forget.
Never forget. 9/18.
Oh no, RBG.
That's not what it's about.
Yeah, but we heard about it on that day.
We didn't know it when we were recording.
Yeah, that's kind of the fun. I don't know if that's funny, but little peek behind the scenes.
Good luck deciphering that.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck are they talking about? But on the flip side too, like footwear, I don't think that chunky sneakers look good with wide, like the wide leg pants that I have. I don't think the rest of my outfits are good. Like I said, I have like those kind of chunky Onitsuka Tigers, and they're just really tough to wear. Yeah. But you know, everything else, fucking yeah, loafers, deck shoes, it all works. Espadrilles, what do you call it? Birkenstock sandals. I think those all look really great. And if you're curious, like, oh, I don't think it'll look good, bro, there's plenty of pictures in there. There's so many. I put in so many pictures of just a variety of things. And hey, if you want the wide leg inspo article, inspo album that has way more, because sometimes I don't even put everything in there, hit me up. Just hit me up on Instagram DMs. I'll send you any of you guys any of the inspo article and inspo albums that I compile in preparation for any of this stuff. I think it's, you know, maybe I'll give it maybe join the patron first, you know, and then I'll give it to you.
Join the patron.
Yeah, exactly. And someone did ask actually about the composer style. And that
really?
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll give it to you. It's still a work in progress, but yeah. So people are interested in seeing that kind of stuff.
There you go. You know what? I will say the only issue I have with wearing my easy pants specifically is I don't like the fact that it has like not a real waistband. I don't like a drawstring waist. I feel like
especially if it's tucked
that
in.
doesn't. Yeah, I don't like. So I only wear it with like untucked stuff. That's my only issue wearing it.
I actually don't mind it. I think obviously with t-shirts, ones without designs, plain ones, I think it looks fine. But I do like. I mean, there's a lot of great outfits in there. Obviously, a knit tee with a ribbing can kind of hide it is pretty cool as well. I'm sure if it was cold enough, we'd do it with sweaters. I think that would be kind of sick.
Oh, I mean, that's what I did do because it's like, it was still pretty cold all throughout like April. So I would wear that all the time with like sweaters.
Sorry, I was drinking a water.
That was a good drink.
Thanks. But yeah, I think, again, they just kind of look great with it. I mean, even if it's not drawstring waist, I think we'll get into this in the future, but fucking belts, bro, like fucking thin belts, something I've been currently writing about. Those look really good with wide leg pants, just because they have more room. I think, first off, I like thin belts in general, but they can really help with that kind of look. Or with, if you like suspenders, that also works because you get to look at, make sure you maintain the drape and everything. But again, my whole point here, and if we start to wrap up a little bit, is that they're really versatile. I think guys shouldn't be scared to kind of try them. Do
you remember off the top of your head, because you see this all the time in MFA whenever the subject of wide legs come up. People always have like a couple stock reasons why it doesn't look good on them, and I wish that I hadn't just thought of this. But
as we close,
maybe we could refute some of those common things.
Well, yeah. So I guess number one thing is like it's not flattering, and as we talked about on the stream, shout out, check out our YouTube. I don't think we'll have the youtube.com/style direction yet, but get us there by subscribing. But we talked about how certain terms don't work, and flattering or unflattering is one of those things that just doesn't. Who the fuck cares, right? Like, when we dress, again, it's not about flattering or unflattering, and I think that might ruffle some feathers even from guys in the Patreon, but it's always about aesthetics, what you want to do. And I think, once you get, like, again, a post-conventional style mindset, that's where it goes. And so these guys who do it, because they're fucking, they're bodybuilders, they take care of their bodies, they want people to see it. But when you don't have that, or you just don't care, then, you get to fucking play wide leg, do wide legs. Marco is a great example of wearing wide. I mean, he might have a little bit of like a crop to his, there's different designs and everything. But, like, he's a good example of, like, a guy who's a fucking ripped as hell, but wears wide legs. Even Oxford cloth button down, as we have found out on his Instagram story, ripped as hell. Yeah. Still wears a very, maybe not, like, wide by, like, 40 standards, but, like, a very, a wide by modern standards type of, like, chino, right? There's a lot of that stuff going on. Scott Fraser Simpson, we can't, he's got a really great body, and he is like a proponent of. I mean, his whole pant brand is built on fucking wide legs.
Dude, I mean, just look at his ads. That's a great pitch for like wide leg pants. He makes them look so good, so easy, they're so breezy, so beautiful.
And that's what it should be. If you can't fathom, I think that's kind of what it is. If you can't fathom being that comfortable in your clothes, then you can't pull off wide leg pants. But if you are about that life, slouch life, hashtag Team Cozy Boys, our pals over in New York, if that's something that you're after, wide leg is where it's at. And these guys, obviously, it's kind of a thing, right? If you know, right? And we certainly know, and we hope that you do too, because, fashion isn't always about, accenting your fucking shoulders, accenting your small waist or whatever, because again, first off, not everyone has that, and number two, it's not really needed. I mean, you look at, like the whole like golden era of style, right? Fucking having a drape cut that hides a lot of your physique. The clothes will present that to you like as if you have it, but it's hiding it. And look at the 60s, a sack suit, right? That also hides it. I mean, they had slimmer legs, but it's all about comfort and everything. It's a very modern convention that you have to wear clothes that like fucking form to your body. And again, that's a very, to some people it might look classic, but you're just saying that because that's when you found out about clothes, like in 2013. In reality, clothes have always been about, changing it up. Even the 70s was like, even if it is like slimmer and more masculine, it's still very different than, the H&M suits that we see.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I think, and I don't want to sound too much of a downer, but I do think, as Spencer said, as we move forward, COVID, whatever, quarantine world, working from home, we are moving in the direction of wide leg pants. I know in at least easy pants. Uniqlo is showing that. A lot of the fits are getting wider. As we talk to Kiyoshi and everything.
I still don't think that means it's going to be good, because I think sometimes people think fashion is cyclical. That means one day the exact aesthetic that I like, which I think was once in vogue, will be popular again.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. Yeah, it's like pants are getting wider, but that doesn't mean they're all going to be good now.
Yeah. And I think, if when that happens, it's going to even show people like, oh, it's just a trend. But it's like, everything's trends. These people, we're just arguing with straw men at this point. But it's like a lot of these people have very closed-minded views about fashion. They want something else out of it as opposed to it being a pure art form. And they're also just blissfully unaware that everything is trends. Simon Crompton has routinely stated that there are trends even in classic menswear. It might be as small as the amount of pleats, the Hollywood waist part stuff, the wide lapels. Those are all trends in menswear, in classic menswear and everything. And so being cognizant of it, you should use it to you should use these trends to your advantage. And for me, again, I've always liked this. It took a long time for me to get into wearing it regularly. But I am glad that I'm able to take inspiration from different trends and then incorporate it for my own. And I think a keen-eyed person will be able to get that. As I said, as we talked about for like the menswear attractiveness thing, if that is what you are into, and someone else is into it, they'll get the vibe. I think as a guy who tries to signal the kind of indie, even if I'm not overtly indie, but like signal that kind of aesthetic, that kind of similar interest, I think it works. And I think the people that whether it's dated or just hung out with, they can see that it's a different approach to menswear, and that's, wide leg pants are the way to do it, whether it's formal or casual.
It's the way to go.
It's the way to go.
Wide leg pants, just better.
That's right. I think that'll do it.
That will do it.
Well, thank you guys for listening to our little audio essay. I guess it's not really an essay; it's more of just a discussion. But our audio discussion.
Yeah, we were just talking.
Yeah, we were just talking about wide leg pants. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to check out the show notes for the full essay. Again, it came out a little while ago, but it's still a good read. And now maybe you liked it so much you read it twice. So. That's right.
Hopefully.
Big thank you to our Sadcast fanatics, our top tier patrons, Seth Peterson, Austin Malott, Eric Hall, Shane Curry, Philip Gugard, Audrey Jessica, and our sponsor, PutThisOnShop.com.
That's right. PutThisOnShop.com.
Woo! New sponsor alert. Press that button.
Press that button. P that B.
That's right.
You know what I'm looking at right now on the Put This On website?
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at something that is right up my alley, because they are like 1920s, 1930s workwear buttons. They got that classic cat eye.
Yeah.
But it's like a very, very unique, like kind of like blue, like luminous buttons. Really beautiful. They come on a really cool card that has an illustration of a worker. These things are good. Get them fast. Get them free shipping. Not free, but you get the shipping free. Once again, that's sad ship at checkout.
Sad ship. We're going to find out who made that code. That's a little funny thing. I'm looking at the sterling silver Aztec motif belt buckle. I know that SEO doesn't work on audio
Yeah, has the article come out? Has the belt thing come out yet?
No, it hasn't come out yet. But, I mean, hey, I'm saying it because that's what it's listed. So if it's still, I mean, hopefully, you guys are able to look at this. But if not, there's no need to worry. Because, like we said earlier, there's going to be new items every week. And so that means
if you miss out on that particular sterling silver belt buckle, we still got a lot more.
That's right. That's actually one of my favorite things about what Jesse puts in the shop. I love the accessories, love the buckles, the scarves, and everything. Because I normally don't look for that stuff for myself. I tend to, I buy clothing. But hey, that's why the shop exists. That's why you guys gotta check it out. go to putthisonshop.com, use code SADSHIP, and get that free shipping up to $12 of the shipping cost. That's what. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
sure.
trying to clarify it for the
It's
people.
going to be free shipping on most items, excluding some oversized ones.
Basically, if it's oversized, if the shipping costs over $12, I'm sorry.
Everyone understands this. Everyone is. You're so worried about people being confused about this. Everyone gets it, man.
I think I don't understand it, which is why I'm talking about it for myself.
Okay. Well, anyway, go to putthisonshop.com. Check it out. Use SADSHIP at checkout to get free shipping on most orders. And I think that's gonna do it, right, Ethan?
I think that's gonna do it. We will see you guys in 2 weeks. And also, wait, hold on. First off, don't forget, if you guys want to become a Patreon,
The patron.
a patron. I'm gonna.
You can't say that word.
I'm
You
gonna
can never say that word.
I can never say patron first. It always has to come after Patreon. But anyway, if you guys are interested in supporting the podcast, joining the Discord, again, lots of great stuff. People were playing Among Us without us. That's kind of a funny sentence, but they were doing it without. And we're like a hands off parent. What's the opposite of a helicopter?
Boat.
Okay, we're boat parents.
We're boat parents.
Yeah, we're not hovering. We're sailing away. But I'm really proud.
It's obvious that is the opposite of a helicopter, but everyone knows this.
But I hope you guys, again, if you join the Patreon, you guys get access to our Discord, and really great stuff happening in there. And yeah, also catch us on stream twice a week, Wednesday and Saturdays at 8 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That'll do it for me.
Okay, we will see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.